call yourself a man? You know you're a lying, low-life, motherfucking gambling degenerate prick. You know that's what you are?
Well, hello you degenerate fucks, and welcome to The Degenerate Gambler. It is Thursday the 4th of November, and just here with another episode, going over last week, looking ahead to next week, this week's games, and also the nap of the week is back this week. This week the nap is selected by Bookie Crusher, or Moneymaker is one of his names on Twitter. So we'll get that later. So first we'll go over last week's bets very quickly. Bets were close, but no winner on Saturday. At one stage or the other, one bet was looking terrible, then the other bet was looking good, then it went bad, and then the other one went good, and then it went bad. So it was a bit topsy-turvy. So I'll run through it quickly. So the main bet, I only did a quad, was Dortmund, who won, Oxford, who won, Forest Green, who drew one each, and Port Vale, who won. So I say one all draw with Forest Green had that beat it. So no luck there. The overs bet was Swansea Peterborough, that was up. Plymouth Ipswich, that was up. Dagenham Redbridge and Chesterfield, that was up. Salford Exeter, that was the last minute winner, that was up. It was 2-1 I think to Exeter. And then Portsmouth Bolton was only 1-0 to Portsmouth. So I say it was flying because there was a goal in that Portsmouth game, but the other games weren't looking good. Then they all came up, but Portsmouth stayed 1-0. So anyway, and Saturday evening sorry, I keep 2 seconds sorry, we tickle on my throat. The evening bet was 2 beat it, so I had Spurs United, both teams to score. Obviously United won 3-0. Bournemouth to win, they did. Villarreal game, both teams to score, was up. Leipzig game, both teams to score, was up. Verona and Juventus, both teams to score, was up. And Real Salt Lake over 2.5, it was up. Sorry, one of them, Villarreal game wasn't up, sorry. Villarreal Valencia, that was, I think Villarreal won that game. Or Valencia won that game. So, evening, again, not great. I'll run through the favourites so we can get an idea of how many favourites won, how many draws, how many outsiders. As I always say, it's a good way to determine whether there was a chance of getting a bet up. And the numbers are actually quite high. That's the second week in a row they've been pretty high. So in the Premier League there was 9 games between Saturday and Sunday. 6 favourites won, there was 1 draw and 2 outsiders. In the Championship there was 11 games, it was 8 favourites, 1 draw, 2 outsiders. In League 1, 12 games, 8 favourites, 4 draws, no outsiders. League 2, 12 games, 7 favourites won, there was 1 draw and 4 outsiders won. And then the National League, there was 11 games, only 5 favourites, 3 draws and 3 outsiders. So in total, from a total of 55 games in England, there was 34 favourites won, 10 draws and 11 outsiders. So that number 34 is, that's probably about 55 in between 55 and 60%. So quite good. Now move on to Sunday. I did a bet on the early matches on Sunday, and I was lucky enough for £193. I had Rangers plus both teams to score. I had Midtjylland both teams to score. I had Genk both teams to score, and I had Nice to win. I got a bit of luck in that Nice game. They actually conceded a penalty. I think it was the end of the first half. But they managed to come back and score 2 goals, one of them being laid on to win the game. I then did a bet. I did 2 bets. I did a wee £3 goal race plus, sort of both result and both to score. It didn't do too great, but in my other bet, it didn't do great either, because I had West Ham to win, who were a great price by the way, and they beat Aston Villa. Monaco were beaten. Brøndby both teams to score. Colorado both teams to score, both beat. And then Ghent over 2.5, and it was beat too. So only 1 out of the the 5 selections there. I also did a bet on Sunday. I followed a bet. It was actually by today's. It was by the bookie crusher who picks today's nap. Originally, I thought it was Aka Attacker because I saw it on his page. Just the way it was written, but it was actually by the bookie crusher, and he did a 10-fold over 1.5, and I ended up putting 2 into it to make it 12 to bump the odds up a bit, and 10 of those ended up being up. It was beat by, I think, 2-1 nils. So it was a good sweat all day because it started with the Rangers match at 12, so it ran right through until basically 8-9 o'clock. I think it was about 7 o'clock. So that was pretty unlucky. So that was last week, as I say, lucky enough to get, £93. It's not massive, but it keeps the total amount won going up, and it obviously covers my bets with a wee bit extra. So, as I say, while I'm talking about Bookie Crusher, he's obviously picked today's nap. It's short and sweet, so without further ado, rather than me talking, I'll let him give you his nap of the week.
Hello, degenerates, and thanks to the head degenerate in charge for having me on. I've gone for a mixed championship and Spanish treble. It's coming in as I placed it at 3.4 to 1. I'm going for Coventry over Bristol City, Millwall over Derby, and PSG over Bordeaux. Historically, both the championship matches are going to be close. I'm backing Coventry to come back after a poor result against Swansea and take it out on Bristol City. And of course, Millwall over the Minnows, Derby. Both Coventry and Millwall are home teams that should show well for a recent form. For my third leg, I'm on for PSG away over Bordeaux. Pretty straightforward. You're looking at a top of the table PSG versus a bottom third Bordeaux. Recently, Bordeaux has been conceding many goals at home, and PSG is scoring nicely while away. At only 1 to 3 odds for PSG, I'm surprised the odds were not more in their favor. History here also would support over 1.5 match goals, as well as goals coming in the first half. Good luck if you're on.
So there we go. That was short and sweet, only a minute and 5 seconds he rattled that out. But some good selections. Coventry I actually looked at myself. In good form. Millwall to beat Derby. Millwall going pretty well too, and as he said, both teams at home. And then it's PSG at 1 to 3, obviously. Top of the league versus towards the bottom of the league. So a good nap. In total, I got it at 3.08 to 1. So I think it gets 40. I've already placed the bet already because I always try to get on the naps because they're not huge. You don't get a huge return on the nap because it's only a small bet. I like to get on them as soon as the person sends me them, just in case the odds change. So for this one, the odds were 3.08, but I have a 5% bonus, so I'm actually getting back 42.80 or 84. So a decent return. So now I'll move on to my own bets, my own picks for the weekend. And the first one is Fulham. Now, Fulham are away. And Fulham are away to Peterborough. And they are 4 to 6, which is 1.67. Not really too much, you need to explain about this. Peterborough down towards the bottom of the league. Fulham are sitting second. Form-wise, Fulham again second. Peterborough mid-table. They have had a wee bit of an upturn. Fulham got the third best away record in the league, and Peterborough are 15th in league form at home. Peter's form, as I say, they have picked up a bit. They have a couple of wins in their last 5, but their form's patchy. Fulham have won their last 4. Next is Harrogate. Sorry, did I give that price? The price was 4 to 6, which is 1.67. So next is Harrogate. Harrogate are at home, and this is in the FA Cup, to Wrexham. Wrexham going decently in the National League, but Harrogate's okay. Their form has not been great, but at home, pretty decent home form. Couple of wins, couple of draws, and a defeat in their last 5. Wrexham's away form, 3 defeats, a draw and a win. So again, patchy. It is the FA Cup. We all know that shocks can happen. But at 10 to 11, which is 1.91, I thought that was a great price. Next is another FA Cup game. It's Chesterfield, and it's Chesterfield versus Southend, which is a National League game, basically. Chesterfield sitting in the sort of, I think they're in the top 2 or 3 of the National League. Yeah, they're second, and Southend are 20th. Pretty good home form, 3 wins, 2 draws, and Southend lost their last 5 at home. They did sack the manager though, so that can be, that can go one way or the other. So that one is 4 to 7, which is 1.57. Next we have Aberdeen. Aberdeen are at home to Motherwell. Now, Aberdeen have not started well in the Scottish League. They were down towards the bottom. They're now up to 6th because in their last few games they've had a pretty good run. I think they drew 2 each with Rangers. But at home they've won their last 2. And Motherwell have a pretty patchy away record. Also, Motherwell have only got 1 point in the last 5 games. So that one is 3 to 4, which is 1.75. Then lastly, we have back to the FA Cup, Walsall away at Kings Lynn, and that is 10 to 11, which is 1.91. With this one, obviously, Kings Lynn are the league below. They are at home, so I think that's where the price comes in. Walsall are around about mid-table in League 2. They're 14th. Form ways that let me just check the form. Yeah, they're actually sitting 3rd in form, so they're actually an informed team, playing a team from the league below. So it could be a shock, but I'm hoping it's not. So in total, that worked out at about 15.7 to 1, and there was also a 20 quid bonus on that. So I think it worked out. It was paying 180 something. So it's paying about 17 to 1 instead of 15. So that's the main bet. I'll just quickly run through the overs. The overs is Brighton and Newcastle at 9 to 10. That's 1.91. Bournemouth Swansea 9 to 10. That's 1.91. Curzon Austin versus AFC Fylde 3 to 5. That's 1.6. Bradford Exeter 11 to 10. That's 2.1. And then Crewe Swindon 10 to 11. That's 1.91. That one works out at about 22 to 1. So if ever on that, it's going to do alright too. So lastly, looking into next midweek. Next midweek is a bit of a slow week. I don't know what I'm going to do with bets in that, because on Tuesday there is some National League games. I think there's one actually. There's EFL Trophy, but a lot of those games are like playing against under 23 sides, which I'm not big on betting on. There's 18 of those games though, so I probably will. And then there's a Scottish League 2 game. On Wednesday there is basically 3 of those English League Trophy, or EFL Trophy, whatever you call it. So I don't know about Wednesday. As I say, next week is a pretty slow week, so I don't know what I'll be doing in midweek. But anyway, that's it for today. Just leaves me to say, if you are doing a bet, good luck and happy punting.
Here, get the fuck out of here. Here, thanks. Let me find out you fucked up. I'll leave you wherever I find you.